Pretty good. Today was a lot of third down and red zone. The one thing that I like what's happening right now is that we're further along than we've been here in a long time. We haven't stopped and slowed down, but we've kept every install. And so there was a little bit more today, but I do like their attitude and I like the way they're approaching practice every day. We weren't as consistent today. I think up until today, we had been really consistent on offense. But that's, we got to have patience because when you throw that much on, you start a new zone, red zone, and that stuff's going to happen.
Given the accomplishments of last year and the experience coming back, did you expect this kind of efficiency in practice?
I did. You always do. The question was always, where's Terry going to be? Where's Terry going to be? And you already see his comfort level and quicker decisions. And so I think that's one of the reasons why we're able to, those receivers know what we're doing. Everybody knows what we're doing. And up front, we're further along than we've been in a long time, at least in the run game. We can add anything we want any day because they're so smart.
What do you notice from, say, August 6th this year as opposed to August 6th of last year?
I think, really not knowing who our quarterback was going to be. I think that's probably the biggest thing as we went into it August 6th last year. We know who our quarterback is right now. We're trying to develop a second one, and everybody's further along in terms of the install.
Eddie, is Isaiah unable to go back out there? Do you have much information?
Isaiah had a small fracture in his left foot, and they put a screw in it, and he's going to be out about 6 weeks. But surgery went well, and it looks like that he'll be back in about 6 weeks.
Do you see Bryce being a guy that's still stepping up in the wake of that? Or?
He has to. It's always, Coach always talks about next man up. He's got a great opportunity right now. We've got to have some guys to step up and get into that role, and so far he's done a nice job.
Bryce said when he was in high school he had an injury, and a lot of schools recruiting him kind of just went away, but you were the one coach who kept at it there. What about him as a recruit made you that confident?
I got to watch him play basketball. He played on a 6A basketball team that went back-to-back championships, him and Jordan Wright. So when I was recruiting Jordan, I got to see him play, and his athleticism was off the charts. He was dunking the ball, and it was his elbow was over the rim, and so it just felt like we had seen him before. We knew what he brought to the table, and you look at his body type, exactly what you want for an outside receiver.
Ed, you alluded to this on Media Day, but the three returning running backs, it seems like their skill sets, if not unique, are different, and it seems like it gives you a lot of options when it comes to the running game. How
I think not only in the run game, but in the pass game. I think those guys are catching more balls than they've caught, in my 3 years here. Partly because Terry's understanding where his checkdowns are, and trying not to force things, and getting to those things like second down and 5. Those are great down and distance for us. We can't be second and long. Way too many last year. So I think the skill sets of those backs. I think in the run game, you're just going to get a change up on defense, and then in the pass game, we can utilize those guys so we can create mismatches.
We've seen AJ catch it, but the other two are good at it too.
Really good. Yeah, they got good hands. Smoke's probably the best route runner. He's got unbelievable hands.
When you think of inside receivers, we typically think of bull sock guys that can move around real quick, but you've had Alan Daly working inside. What does his size bring as a different dynamic?
Just that's it right there, the size. He can body up on some guys and chicken wing guys and create that separation and get the tough catches on option routes. He's still quick enough to run whip routes and digs inside, and so that's been good because now that Epps is down, he's been able to go outside because that's where he started. So he'll be a role player for us and go in and out.
Was Walker still taking second team reps today?
He is, but Sawyer has moved into a position where he's getting more and more each day too. We got to find out what those other kids can do. So Sawyer, I think for his first 5 days here, I'm really pleased. I'm pleased with what he brings to the table, and he's really studying it and understanding it, and I'm liking what I see at him right now.
I know Walker has been adamant kind of in the past about not switching positions, but has that changed at all?
I don't know anything about that.
Eddie, I don't think any of the freshmen on your side of the ball, there's not really an obvious opportunity because all the guys, veterans in front of them. How do you work those guys in? Can you see what they have and see what
Well, every day after practice, we're going with that freshman group. They're getting 15 extra snaps every day after practice, and so right now, they've gotten over almost 80 snaps in 5 days that they didn't get. So we're developing that way as well. And to see maybe who can, maybe in game 5, 6, 7, or 8, might be that guy that we can use if something happens.
Josh Ali has a pretty big chance, I think, to be that number 2 guy at receiver. How do you kind of see anything from him?
I do, you know, and Josh has had a really good camp, and he hasn't gotten all the balls that he's wanted, you know, just because of the installation and the way it's going. And but I see him right now as yeah, he's that number 2 guy right now, and I like where he's at right now, mentally and physically. He's really got a lot of speed. He's gotten stronger. So I'm excited at where he's at.
And there are many programs that can lose a Bunchy and a George AA, but then plug in a Landon Young and just keep right on clicking with the O-line. How much comfort does that give you guys on that side of the football?
Well, it's huge. Big men lead the way. It starts up front, whether it's in the pass game or the run game. John Schlarman does as good a job as any, I think. You know, I think we're one of the few schools that, you know, some years we played 9 guys, you know, where they got, you know, some of those guys got 30 snaps a game, you know, 12 games. Then the next year, those guys have been guys that we've been able to fill in there, and they've had that game experience, and that's been huge for us, and we're going to continue to do that if they're guys we feel like we can put in there and we can win.
I think Isaiah's real strength is his speed outside. What other guys can bring that kind of
I think Bryce is fast enough, you know, I do. I think Bryce is fast enough. I see DeMarcus Harris making some good plays out there, and he's a guy that, again, as a freshman still, you know, he's still learning, but you can certainly see his skill set.
Were you guys surprised at what Bryce did in the spring game, looking back on it?
You know, I wasn't. I knew he was that guy that could go up and get the ball and get the 50-50 balls. You know, you got to have that guy, and I felt like that's what he would bring to the table here. So I wasn't surprised. I was more excited than I was, you know, surprised, because he did some of them against the ones, and so that was really good for us to see. I think he built in confidence going into the summer.
All right, folks, thank you very much.